So this is the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, and today we're going to speed test it against last year's Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Let's find out how much of a performance improvement you're going to get should you trade in to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Let's go ahead and kick this speed test off with a boot up in 3, 2, go, and see which one can get there first. Now we're looking at the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 on the right. I called that phone my phone of the year, the S24 Ultra, but it's facing off against a new kid on the block, the Galaxy S25 Ultra with the 8 Elite chipset, custom chips both here for Samsung, and you will be getting that 8 Elite globally. And the S25 Ultra boots up faster than the S24 Ultra. It also has thinner bezels, as you can see here, definitely a 6.9 versus a 6.8 inch over there, and more rounded corners, although it still retains a more rectangular feel and look. That definitely separates it from the base S25 and S25 Plus. So the first round is going to go to the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, booting up a little bit quicker than that of last year's S24 Ultra. All right, so you can see right here with the Galaxy S25 Ultra, I can just kind of look at the phone and it will unlock. Now, I was blocking it with the camera, so let me get a little bit closer. But you can see I do have bypassed the lock screen on, and it's very quick. Also, that ultrasonic in-display fingerprint sensor is beautiful, and it's in a really good location because when you're holding this phone, you'll just tap it right there. It's kind of like in a place your thumb would naturally rest. I also am enjoying the flat sides here for when unlocking the phone and holding it because they just feel much more comfortable to hold. The slight curved corner actually makes this feel much more practical, and it's going to be a phone you're going to like holding more than the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Looking at the S24 Ultra, you'll see right there, in terms of unlocking, that speed is not any different really. And we also had an ultrasonic here, so you can just tap in pretty much the same location and get right in. You know, these phones are very, very quick to get in. So I don't think you're going to see a massive difference in the area of unlocking these two phones in speed. The S25 Ultra definitely doesn't really improve too much there, but ergonomically holding it on the flat sides definitely feels better when unlocking. Both of these are running One UI 7. I actually have beta 3, but this has the January security patch. This has December's patch, but I believe this is an official version here on the left. But I almost see zero perceptible differences here in performance. That's why I'm doing the speed test, even though this is a beta. I wouldn't have done it if there was like huge differences, but the betas are already very fast and almost no one's going to be able to see the difference. So I'm going to go ahead and run the test anyway because I'm not trying to wait forever for the official version to come, although I will do some more when it does come. But you can see they both have very smooth vertical app drawers. Over here on the right, you'll see the quick panel. You can bring down notifications on the left. And day-to-day performance is not going to be any different really on the general home screens, and that's not a bad thing. You could see going over to that Google page on the left took a second. It always does that on my Samsung phones, so I'm kind of used to that. It's only on the initial boot up. After you do it once, it kind of remembers and stays pretty smooth. You can also pinch in on both, and you'll see just kind of going through the pages, everything just feels like basically the same phone in terms of that area. Again, 120 hertz displays on here. These are LTPO panels as well, so they do have adaptive refreshes, and both of them seem to operate very smooth. So no major issues, although I do feel like because I have more apps on the S24 Ultra, it's taking me a while to get down the page on the right. So over here on the left, let's take a look at the clock speeds. You can see on cluster 2, we do have 4.47 gigahertz. So this is an overclocked CPU compared to the S24 Ultra. Its highest clock speed is 3.4 gigahertz there on cluster 4. And then the cluster 1, there's 6 cores clocked at 3.53 gigahertz. You'll see right here, there's 6 of them here, but they're clocked at different speeds, 2.27, 2.96, and 3.15. So all 6 of these clusters are actually clocked higher on the Samsung S25 Ultra, with cluster 4 also being clocked higher there on the S25 Ultra. So think of this as an overclocked version and faster version with better heat dissipation and heat performance than the S24 Ultra. That is your S25 Ultra. Let's get on to the app test. All right, so we have arrived at the app test where we're just going to launch a bunch of apps, and I actually added a row because these phones are getting so powerful. Why not add an extra row? We'll see what they can do. Let's go into calendar. You could see basically the same performance in here is going to be identical. They do have non-linear animations, and One UI 7 has improved the actual look of the animation. While it's not as fast as some other competing phones out there, it definitely looks smoother, I would say, which is more visually pleasing, I would say. They have some of the most visually pleasing animations out there now. You'll see in my RAM test in a little bit. You can see weather launching at about the same time. Let's go into news. And that one, we got to redo that one because that one was popping open a notification. See, the S25 Ultra was faster there. As we scroll through, you're going to see that you do have a bigger screen and you have a taller phone on the right. It looks slightly taller, but the Samsung S25 Ultra is wider, so it kind of feels like a bigger keyboard experience as well as probably slightly better media experience. Let's go over here to Play Store. That was faster on the right. We'll go to apps, faster on the left that time. And we'll go to top charts. I think I moved these a little bit. Let's go ahead and go down to ChatGPT. And we'll head up out of here. We'll click another application. And you'll see once in application, it's just fine on both. No major issues. Let's head over here into X. And we'll go over here to my profile page on both. That one was faster on the right. And keep in mind, not giving it credit, but S25 Ultra is brand new. So basically, if some apps are faster on the right, it could be because they've been updated beforehand for this older phone. Let's go ahead and swipe into Amazon. For some reason, I actually tested these before, but then when I get into the actual test, they want to do those weird pop-ups. So you can see right there, no major issues. We'll go to YouTube here, and I'm going to go over here to trending. Let's go to the trending tab, and as we scroll down, you can see both have that nice fast scrolling you're used to. I don't know why dark mode is on this side. Oh, because of labs. I forgot to turn it off in labs. Let's go over to music. Scrolling in music just fine. Gaming, movies. These are both excellent media consumption powerhouses. Let's head down into Groupon. And you'll see, I think I tapped the Samsung on the left a little faster. I want to do that one again. I think I got a little ahead of myself on that one. Let's go ahead and do Groupon again. Now, I thought it was faster on the S25 Ultra, and it was. Let's go over here to oil change and maintenance. It is winter time. You might want to keep your car up to snuff. Let's go ahead and get this thing out of here. We'll go into Gemini. And Gemini does pretty well. Let's go into Subway Surfers, and Gemini does have a button now you could press on the left on the S25 Ultra. You can actually press the button on the side to access Gemini now. You can also set that up on the S24 Ultra through some settings, but it's not as easy as it is. It just works on the S25 Ultra out of the box. Let's hit play. And when you're in the game here, you'll see that it's going to be really fun to play casual game like runner games, just because of these really tall displays. However, when we head into something like Jetpack Joyride, this is a really old game, but I just throw this in here for a basic setup. We'll look at the more intense games in a minute. But you'll see that they still have this swipe from the left. I wish they would just put it like where I can just swipe out from the bottom at all times, because we're mostly using our phone in portrait. But when you are playing that game, you're probably in landscape still. If you want to turn it and just swipe from the bottom, that would be nice. Let's go into a ball pool, and we'll see which one can launch into this game first. Set up out of here. And it looks like the S25 Ultra was ahead on that one. We'll head into Dead Trigger 2. And let me go ahead and hit play on both. I swear, I will do these tests beforehand, and they will definitely not do anything. But I got to show you something that I'm really digging about the S25 Ultra. This phone right here, when you're actually holding it, these corners feel nice. You have a wider panel. This is going to be a much better gaming phone than the S25 Ultra. Or than the S24 Ultra, just because the sharper corners don't feel as comfortable to hold. And while the S24 Ultra is still great, don't get it wrong, better heat, better performance, wider display, which is great for gaming, as well as flat sides. It's the better gaming phone already, I could tell you. Let's go into Race the Sun, and we'll see what happens here. Another easy to load game, and that was faster on the left. So as we expect, we're going to have faster performance in gaming on the S25 Ultra. You can click these buttons over here. Hold on. I think you got to pull them actually from the side. Hold on. For some reason, I'm not able to pull that, but right there, you can kind of set things up when you're playing games and stuff of that sort. But really, both of these are really great for pretty much everything you do. Like, you don't really have to have an issue, or you're not going to have an issue with using either of these for like media, games, texting, camera. I mean, they're just powerhouses. So while the S24 Ultra should be seeing some discounts and maybe the refurbished section of the website as well, you can still pick that one if you like. It's going to get a discount, which makes it a great deal. The trade-in value for the S24 Ultra is $900, effectively getting you this phone for like $300, which has an improved ultra-wide camera. It also has improved performance, improved battery life, and a bigger display. So you're not paying the full price if you have an S24 Ultra. You definitely aren't. They're going to give you a massive instant trade-in discount, which is something different than almost every other carrier or every other manufacturer. I said carrier, manufacturer, because the manufacturers always are trying to charge you at first and then wait till they get the product. What I love about Samsung is they give you the discount, trusting that you're going to send it, which most people do anyway. They're going to send you the phone. What's the point of lying? You're going to get charged anyway. So they give you that instant discount, but other makers don't do that. So I've actually traded in one time to for the iPhone, and I didn't get my refund back for like 3 months. I was like, are you kidding me? I like never did that again, like through the online process. I had went in the store after that. Let's go ahead and hit X. We'll hit continue. And let's swipe up out of here. So Call of Duty looked to be quicker on the left. We'll go into 3D Mark and we'll swipe up out of here. And in Geekbench 6, that was the left. And Speed Test, that's the right. And LumaFusion, that looked like the left. So they were trading a few here and there. I could have called a couple wrong. Let me know if I called any of those wrong. But here in LumaFusion, you'll see we do have really good video editing performance on both. And both do have S Pens where you can granularly get into these little control buttons by using the S Pen. We'll look at that later. But on the whole, I do think the S25 Ultra is pulling ahead of the S24 Ultra where it matters in the gaming department. And it loaded a few things quicker. It definitely has a little bit more performance, and that's probably due to its faster chip. Definitely overclocked. So it's a little bit quicker than this phone, which is something you would expect for paying for the new phone. All right, so let's go ahead and run the RAM management test. We're going to see really nice non-linear animations right here, and you'll see very smooth. Of course, I got to swipe from the side on these landscape apps. This is one thing I wish Samsung would just let me swipe from the bottom. So I got to do that. Although you'll probably be in landscape anyway, so you won't care too much. There was a little blink on Gemini that could be because it was trying to like reload that AI service. We'll go over here to calculator, clock, and calendar. But if you look, smooth as butter here with these non-linear look. It's just so nice now compared to before. This is just so nice, dude. Like, I think you're really going to like this. So very nice non-linear animations there. Let's check the S24 Ultra now. All right, guys, so let's take a look at the RAM management here for the Galaxy S24 Ultra, and you could see also got to come from the side. Looking about the same, not a big difference. Of course, both of these do have 12 gigabytes of RAM, so they didn't up to 16, which I do think Samsung should do on the next version. I was hoping it would be this year, but I guess they didn't feel the need to, as there wasn't really major performance issues with the S24 Ultra. And I don't think the 16 gigs of RAM is going to change the general day-to-day performance. Most users are probably not pushing the phone at that level. And even some phones with 12 gigs, 8 gigs of RAM on One UI can handle your daily tasks no problem. So generally, I find that this RAM management to be about the same. The animations look great on both. And if you have an S24 Ultra, when you get One UI 7 official, you're going to be really, really happy here, I think, with the way it looks. It looks smoother than One UI 6 for sure. Whoa. The S25 Ultra finished this test almost 13%, 15% before this one was even done. We're still waiting. 9,796, and I probably don't even have the highest score you've seen floating across the internet. But 9,796, that's almost 10,000 on a phone on the multi-core. That's also 3,000 points higher than the multi-core on the Galaxy S24 Ultra, with only being about 600 to 700 better on the single core. But that actually makes a pretty substantial difference for a more speedy performance in daily use, even on single core. But on that multi-core, if you really start pushing the Galaxy S25 Ultra, it's beasting over the S24 Ultra. It just is. That's going to come in the area of gaming or 4K video editing. You'll probably see this a little bit more, especially as the clips get longer. And this is a close look actually of the cameras. So I was taking a video of the newer cameras on this phone. They kind of have a black ring around the top with like the titanium silver blue right there. But you can see in areas like this will stay smoother. As long as more the video gets longer, it will actually perform better. And when playing things like Call of Duty Mobile or PUBG, things of that sort, this phone will beast over this phone, the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Something you're probably not going to feel too much unless you're really pushing it, because this one is still a beast as well. But definitely, if you like being on the cutting edge of chipsets and fastest phones available, you should seriously consider the newer S25 Ultra. But the S24 Ultra can still hold up for probably 4 or 5 years as well, if you're okay with slightly less performance than the newest phone. Brace yourself. It just keeps getting better for the Galaxy S25 Ultra. 6201 on the overall score versus 4109. And you could see right there, 37 average frame rates. We're looking at 24.61. Now, obviously, 8 Elite chip phones will compete easily with this, but not last year's 8 Gen 3. This phone is scoring better than 97% of all devices on the market. Did you hear that? 97%. And I could probably run this test and it might get a better score if I reboot it and it cools down. So we'll see if it changes in the future. The Samsung S24 Ultra is no slouch either, better than 86% of devices, which means very, very little amount of phones are faster than the S24 Ultra. But the fleet this year coming in definitely will take over the crown there. That is impressive. That frame rate means much more consistently smooth gaming experience and a much more powerhouse performance if you really do a lot of multitasking. Maybe even make DeX smoother, honestly, because you're plugging in and using a bunch of apps on DeX. So this is a powerhouse improvement, even though it might look like they didn't really do so much. You think, well, you see right there, that overclocked chipset is definitely showcasing its prowess. Now let me go ahead and do my final thing. We'll go ahead and open the camera. I'll bring my little Android man who lost his antennas about 5 years ago. I think it was about that time. He's been with us for a while. You know, he's been doing some good work on this channel, being the prop. Let's go ahead and launch the camera, see which one can do this first. Did I really just accidentally hit that with the corner of my palm? Now I have to open this one, close that out, so we can be fair here. Let's go ahead and do this again. 3, 2, go. And I didn't see a huge difference. Let's go ahead and do it again. 3, 2, go. Yeah, not a massive difference. I do have it looks like I have the timer on there. Let me go ahead and turn that timer off for that phone. And we'll do it again in 3, 2, go. So shutter speed's not going to be drastically different, but what is the ultra wide is now a 50 megapixel camera on the Galaxy S25 Ultra. So I'm going to wrap it up here for the speed test. You've seen frame rates going to be faster. Gaming experience going to be nicer because bigger screen, grounded corners, easier to hold, better heat. This phone feels a little bit less warm, but it's not drastic because the S24 Ultra already had really good heat management as well. So it's not massive, but yeah, faster frame rates, better for video editing and heavier tasks of that sort if you're going to be doing things of this sort. If you're going to be pushing it multitasking using DeX, it's more of a power user's phone again. Every year, it just gets better and better for the power user. For those of you looking for bigger changes, like a bigger overhaul in design, I would wait till probably the S26 Ultra. But I like the upgrade. I think you're getting a lot here, especially considering that you're trading in this for $900. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the comparison. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all in the very next battle. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.